Hello friends, how are you? This is your tutor Harry. Today I am going to teach you another topic, that is polynomials. This topic is very important for the students who are in 8th, 9th and 10th standard, and you really need to have basic understanding of the polynomials. So let's start. Here I have given one statement. Just have a look on that. If px is a polynomial in x, the highest power of x in px is called the degree of the polynomial px. So friends, px is the shortest term that we use for the polynomials. Okay, or in simple words, if I tell you what the px is going to contain, px is a form of equation. Okay, px is a form of equation. Your equation can be like x plus 1 equal to 0, x square plus 4x minus 8 is equal to 0, x cube minus 2x square plus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. These are some sort of forms. So these forms are polynomials but having different degree. So for the degrees, we need to understand this statement. After that, I will clarify you what exactly the degree of polynomials is. So px is a polynomial in x. You can see each equation is in the form of x. Okay, y. So this equation satisfies the equation if py is a polynomial in degree y, because the equation contains y. But here I have written all the equations in x form. That's why I have written the equation or this statement in x form. So if px is a polynomial in x, okay, the highest power of x, power is what? Power is the degree. Okay, like here the degree is 1. X contains degree 1, so highest degree is 1. So highest power of x in px is called the degree of polynomial px. So friends, let's start with the degree of polynomial from the below examples. As I have written, x plus 6 is equal to 0. This is a polynomial, or you can say this is an equation. It contains x but having degree 1. So in this equation, what is the highest degree of x? That is 1. So let's move toward the other equation. Look, x square plus 4x minus 8 is equal to 0. So this is the another equation. Okay. So what is the highest degree of x in this equation? You can have a look at this. Here x contains 1 degree. So here x contains 2 degree. Which one is bigger? 1 or 2? 2 is bigger. So here highest degree is x raised to power 2. Now move towards another equation. Here I have written x cube minus 2x square plus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. So what is the highest degree in this equation? You can see this equation, x raised to power 3 and then 2 and then 1. Which one is bigger between these three? 3, 2, 1. 3 is bigger. So highest power is your 3. Here highest power is your x raised to power 2 and your highest power is x raised to power 1. So hope friend you understand the degree of polynomials. So friends, as I told you in the previous slide about the degree of polynomials, in this slide I am giving you more examples to understand what exactly the degree of polynomials will contain. I have taken two polynomials, px, other one is py. First of all, I am telling you about the px polynomial which contains all the equation in x form. So px is a polynomial in x. For that, I have taken some examples. Have a look at the first example. X plus 7 is equal to 0. What is the highest degree here? Highest degree here is x raised to power 1. So highest degree will be x raised to power 1 for this equation. If I talk about the another equation, that is x cube minus 4x square plus 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. What is the highest degree in this equation, in this polynomial? That is x raised to power 3, x cube. 3 is the highest degree for this polynomial. And let's talk about the another example. X raised to power 5 plus 2x raised to power 4 minus x raised to power 3 plus 2x raised to power 2 plus x minus 1 is equal to 0. What is the highest degree here? X raised to power 5. 5 is the highest degree for this polynomial. So let's move towards the polynomial which contains all the equation in y form. That's why I have written here py is a polynomial in y. Okay, so what's the example here? Y plus 3 is equal to 0. What's the highest degree here? Y raised to power 1. This one is your highest degree. And if I talk about the another equation, that is y square plus 4y minus 2 is equal to 0. What is the highest degree for this polynomial? That is square, that is 2. If I talk about last equation, that is y4 minus 2y cube plus 3y square plus 2y minus 6 is equal to 0. What will be the highest degree for this polynomial? That is 4. Y raised to power 4, so degree will be 4. So friends, this is the degree of polynomial. So friends, here in this slide, we are going to study about the polynomials category based on degree. Based on the highest degree, we are going to categorize the polynomials. First one is your linear polynomial. Another one is your quadratic polynomial. And the last one is your cubic polynomial. What these three categories mean? Linear means 1. The degree having 1 in equation is called linear polynomial, as shown in the equation below. Ax plus b is equal to 0. Here x contains degree 1 and a and b are your real numbers, but a cannot be 0. If I talked about the quadratic polynomials, it contains the highest degree 2. If equation having the degree 2, that equation is called as quadratic polynomial. As looked in the example below, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Here x contains the degree 2. That's why we call this equation as quadratic polynomial, because it contains degree 2. Now move towards the cubic polynomial. What do you mean by cubic polynomial? Cubic means 3. It contains the degree 3. As shown in the below equation, ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d is equal to 0. This equation is having degree 3. That's why it is called a cubic polynomial. I will clarify this doubt in the next slide. So let's move towards the another slide which will tell you about ABC, what this ABC going to contain. So friends, here in this slide, I am going to tell you about the linear polynomial. Your linear polynomial equation will be in the form of ax plus b is equal to 0, where a and b are your real numbers and a cannot be 0. Why a cannot be 0? I am telling you the reason. Suppose I made a 0. 0 multiplied by your x plus b is equal to 0. Here 0 multiplied by x becomes 0 plus b is equal to 0. So what will be the result? B is equal to 0. So where is the x? Where is the x? We made it 0. That's why there is no matter of saying linear polynomial. That's why we cannot make here a 0. If I make a 0, then your x becomes 0. Then there is no point of saying linear polynomial. That equation will totally get eliminated. So that's why we need to understand this. A and ax plus b is equal to 0. A and b is your real numbers, but a cannot be 0. So let's move towards the another example. So friends, here I have mentioned some examples of your linear polynomial that contains x power 1. Look here, 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. This is linear polynomial. Why? Because it contains degree highest as your 1. And another one is under root 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. This is also your linear polynomial. Why? Because x contains the highest power 1. And another example, that is x minus 2 upon 13 is equal to 0. This is also your linear polynomial because it also contains the highest degree of x, that is 1. All the equations having degree 1 is your what? Is your linear polynomial. So let's move towards the quadratic polynomial. So friends, our next category is quadratic polynomial. You can have a look at the statement similar to the linear equations. I have written here ax² plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b and c are your real numbers. But here, as I told you earlier, a cannot be 0. As I told you, a cannot be 0. If I made a 0, if I put the value of a in this equation 0, then what equations become? 0 multiplied by x² plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Then what it becomes? This equation after solving becomes 0. So what we have left, bx plus c is equal to 0. You can have a look. This becomes linear equation because it contains the highest power of x, that is 1. But for quadratic polynomial, what we need? We need the power of 2. That's why we cannot put the value of a to 0. So a, b, c are your real numbers. But here I cannot make a is equal to 0 because if I do so, then the point of quadratic polynomial gets eliminated. That's why here a cannot be 0. I am specifying some examples here. Let's have a look at that. So friends, look at the examples below. All these equations contains the highest degree of x, that is 2. That's why all these are quadratic polynomials. Look at the example, 2x² plus 3x minus 5 is equal to 0. Yes, it contains the highest power 2. That's why it is a quadratic polynomial. Another equation is minus x² plus 2 under root 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. It also contains the highest power of x, that is 2. It is also a quadratic polynomial. If I talk about this, 4x² plus 1 upon 7 is equal to 0. Yes, it also contains the highest power of x, that is 2. That's why it is also a quadratic polynomial. So friends, let's move towards the third category, that is cubic polynomial. So friends, here the last category is your cubic polynomial. Your cubic polynomial will be in the form of ax³ plus bx² plus cx plus d is equal to 0. Here your a, b, c and d are real numbers and your a cannot be 0. As I told earlier, in linear and quadratic polynomials, a cannot be 0. If I suppose to make here a 0, then what equation left here? Your equation left here is your a becomes 0. Then x³ plus bx² plus cx plus d is equal to 0. It means this becomes 0. So what we have left? We left with ax² plus cx plus d is equal to 0. So is it a cubic polynomial? No, this one is your quadratic equation because it contains highest degree of 2. That's why we cannot say that this is a cubic polynomial. To make it cubic, we don't need to have a value of 0. So friends, here I have mentioned some examples of your cubic polynomial which contains the highest power of x, that is q. That's why all these are your cubic polynomials. Friends, I always try to make valuable videos for you. If you want to share any kind of feedback with me, kindly comment me in the message box. It would be really appreciable for all of you. Thank you.